guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're back here, but guess what? We're at a new filming spot location, and we're trying to outrun the storm of the century right over my left shoulder because, like we say on Rady's Rides, the show must go on, and it's going on with this vehicle right here. This is it. It's a 2023 Hyundai Tucson. This is a plug-in hybrid version, and it's the top limited trim. But before we get into this hyper-efficient compact crossover SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. There's still a lot of work to be done with hybrid technology as the automotive industry is rushing towards full BEVs, battery electric vehicles. Some brands like Toyota and Hyundai are really putting a focus on plug-in hybrid technology, where you have the hybrid setup, but you could also drive a short range on pure EV. Everybody knows the key player, the top dog in the compact segment when it comes to this technology is the Toyota RAV4 Prime. But guess what? Hyundai says that with their Tucson and their plug-in hybrid technology, that it's the way to go over the RAV4 Prime. So let's find out who has done it better, Toyota or Hyundai, and find out, is the Tucson the one to buy over the RAV4 Prime? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, you get that same redesign that we have seen with the Tucson. At the front of the business, you have a little bit more angular, little bit more aggressive look. We have functional corner air curtains. You have your double stuff, double stack, not Oreo cookies, but LED lighting. And then up top, you'll notice that we have LED turn signals, and our daytime running lamps actually flow into the grille. Very, very unique design. We come across that center Hyundai badge. The grille on the limited trim is all blacked out. You do have a forward-facing camera, which is really nice. And I like the way that they took some of the dark chrome finish to the bottom portion as well. And then we have flat black on the lower grille with active shutters that open and close. Now, as we rise on up, you do get a little bit of a dip in the center of the hood, and everything is gonna curve very V-like formation towards the corner mirrors. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. When you go limited trim, you're getting this 19-inch wheel. It's got some ornamental design stamped into it, machined aluminum, gunmetal, metallic gray finish. This is front-wheel drive base, but you could also have it like on ours, all-wheel drive. 235 on the width, 55 series sidewall. My one big zonk is this right here. This should be all body colored with our Alpine white. Other than that, I do like the unique look of Hyundai styling, not only on the front of the vehicle, but also the wheels. Definitely more aggressive styling wise compared to the RAV4 Prime. Coming down the side of the vehicle, you do get color matched on the mirror caps, LED slim and trim. You'll notice how we bring some of that silver trim into the side mirror. You got your 360-degree cameras, and then you're gonna have some unique geometric shapes. Interesting how they've done these triangular shapes on the vehicle, but it all kind of comes together at the end of the day. Up top, you got gloss black on the roof rails. We have a panoramic sunroof, which Lori's gonna give you a bird's eye view of that nice panoramic sunroof. Coming towards the rear, nice peek into the rear quarter window. I like the way they work the trim into the rear pillar, and then swinging it around back. Very, very unique style. Now, some people say this looks like a Mach-E, the way that they did this design, and I could see it a little bit, but the great news is all LED lighting. The one zonk though is, why do they put the turn signal all the way down below here? Not digging that. You do have a long roof spoiler, and the best part is, I could do this. I could do this on the rear glass. Normally you can't do that because there's a wiper here. They took the wiper, just like I try to explain, tucked it underneath, cleans up the whole back. You got your Hyundai badge. They decided to spell it out for you, plug-in. So you have our all-wheel drive, that's Hyundai's H-Track all-wheel drive system. This is an electric plug-in. Working our way down to ground level. I like the dark trim. I even like the way they did the geometric shape because it doesn't look like a fake vent. And then you got a nice, simple, dark gray lower bumper area. But why don't we go ahead, let's continue the comparison between the Tucson and the RAV4 Prime. Let's pop the hood and talk horsepower. All right, guys, we got the hood popped open. You do have a prop rod. The RAV4 Prime has a prop rod as well. What do we got underneath the hood? So you're basically looking at a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline 4 paired to the electric motor to produce 261 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. It's not mated to a CVT like the RAV4 Prime. This is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. That's a conventional torque converter transmission, all-wheel drive, and here's where you're really gonna shine. 80 mpg's combined, 33 all-electric pure EV, and the vehicle weighs 4,081 pounds. Now, if you compare this to the RAV4 Prime, it's gonna come up short on horsepower, on 0 to 60, but definitely has the efficiency. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and see it roll out of here. All right, guys, we are inside this 2023 Hyundai Tucson plug-in limited trim. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, how much is this thing? I've been trying to track down a RAV4 Prime. I can't seem to find them, but yet I do know that dealers have these in stock, but how much is it? Very good question, and I know that trying to find a RAV4 Prime is like finding a needle in a haystack right now, and it's been that way ever since they came out in 2020. Now, here's where this Tucson lays the electrified smackdown on the Prime, and it all comes down to price. On a RAV4 Prime, MSRP is around $58,000. Here with the Tucson, you're looking at an MSRP of $44,000. Let's see how it stacks up to the door panels. I like the way you get the same redesigned style, and that's not a bad thing. Soft touch material up top. There's a thin strip of gloss black, but you're not really going to touch that part. Where the zonk comes into play is the cloth. I'm not a big fan of that. And what's even worse is the amount of gloss black by the switchgear. It's like somebody poured a bucket of gloss black. Now, the good news is you have some nice stitching and a soft armrest. The door pocket is on the tighter side. Maybe a double cheeseburger. Don't even get the fries because they're not going to fit. And a Pepsi to go in the cup holder. You do have the Bose sound system. And then when we go from the Bose sound system to the dash, it's the same story. Soft touch material. The cloth, not my style, not my thing. And then you'll see how they blend in the AC vents. As you follow the flow, it comes into the center stack. What do we have? A 10.25 touchscreen, full setup with native navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You hit the home setup, and it's got all the icons that you're used to from Hyundai. Now, one of the ones I want to show you in particular on this vehicle is the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle one. This is where it shows the engine, the motor, and the battery pack doing their thing. You could go into your charge management very easily. You could even monitor your driving style to try to get that maximum efficiency. And then you just get right back to home. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Throw it in reverse. You have your backup camera, nice clear resolution, your directory, and of course, you have your 360 cam. Plus, you can easily switch different angles all by the icons on the screen. Working our way down, the one zonk is there's no physical buttons or knobs. You have to touch the gloss black to adjust everything, and that's where it gets a little bit filled with fingerprints. So make sure you have a microfiber cloth towel. Down below, you have two USB-As, a 12 volt, a place for 4 Twinkies, and wireless charging. On the side here, you could easily put an Annie Ann's pretzel, maybe cinnamon and sugar, maybe just a standard one with some mustard to dip it in. And then I like the way they placed real buttons for 3 stages of ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats, heated steering wheel, and then of course I have mine set up on the driver's side. But right now it is not hot, so I don't need that. You have your drive mode selector switch. This is where you could do your pure EV, 33 miles of pure EV. You can lock the center diff because we have a real mechanical all-wheel drive system. This push button setup is going to control your 6-speed automatic, 2 cup holders, your standard Hyundai key fob, but guess what? Spin it around, you have that parking assist where you can pull your vehicle in and out of its spot when things get tight, and you have remote start, which is nice. Soft touch material, and guess what? Open up the center console, you could easily put 6 Beanie Babies in there, and guess what? I know you have Peanut, the purple elephant, and that one's worth some big money. You can leave them in there when you're ready to cash in, and you don't even need a 401k because you have it all figured out. You're going to retire on your Beanie Babies and your Smurf collection. Material, nice and soft. Love the perforated, the stitching, decent bolstering, full electric assist for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver. You do have a lighter sunroof, which kind of makes it open and airy, and then you got that nice one-button operation for the sunroof, that panoramic sunroof, which is really nice. But I'll tell you what, you think it's good on that side? Coming over the business end, I want to show you behind the wheel in this Tucson. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 2 memory seat settings, and like I said, just like the passenger side, full electric assist, nice lower lumbar. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here. Seats are comfy. Steering wheel, it may look weird, but it functions very well. Leather all the way around. Nice simplicity on the horn button, but yet it looks classy. You have some gloss black switchgear, but you also have some silver switchgear as well. Paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down, that 6-speed automatic, and it is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. Best part is you have a 10.25-inch digital gauge cluster, all the different readouts in the center, a cornucopia of readouts. But watch this, you got your different modes. Time to make a snowman, time to hug a tree, and it's time to race. But in the end, you want to boost your IQ, go into smart mode, and look at what's smart with Hyundai vehicles, especially this limited. We have the blind spot camera when you turn on your turn signals. Love the way it allows us to see what's around the corner and not cause any problems. I guess the one thing that's missing here would be a head-up display. No head-up display, but to be honest with you, I think that's slim pickings when we're trying to find a zonk. Why don't we go ahead and let's get in the back seat and see if your passengers are going to enjoy that you went Hyundai over Toyota for your plug-in. All right, guys, back seat time, and it's kind of crazy that this is a compact crossover SUV because I'm quite far away from the headliner, which is a good thing, but also feel nice and comfy. My knees are a little high because of how low the seat is, but you kind of go like this and it feels really good. So I'm happy about that. I need to fix this headrest. That hurts my OCD whenever the headrests are way up high. The backs of the seats, you do have plastic. This is going to be good to clean off your kids' fingerprints when they're eating powdered donuts. The zonk are these cargo nets, especially if you have like a nice, say you got about 6 jelly donuts from Dunkin' Donuts. You put them in here, all the jelly's going to squirt through the cargo net. It's going to be like those old Play-Doh toys that we used to use in kindergarten where you make hair out of the Play-Doh guy's head by squishing the Play-Doh in it. That's what's going to happen. The jelly's just going to go everywhere. So that's a zonk. But you do have your 2 rear AC vents, nice size. Down below we have 2 USB-A's. Like I was saying, when it comes to space, you got a good amount of room. And you also, what's kind of cool is you have your heated seat button, 2 stages right on the armrest, which is kind of nice. Would have been nicer to even have ventilated seats back here, but the Prime isn't even close to having that. Pull down the armrest, semi-soft, 2 cup holders. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the cargo area and see if there's any compromises you have to make on space for this plug-in hybrid Tucson. All right, guys, we already have it open. It's raining, but you know what? We're gonna keep rolling here. What you're gonna find, electric assist, lift back, and in the back area, you have a lot of great space. How much space do we have? You're basically looking at, with the seats up, you have 31.9 cubic feet of space. Fold the seats down, 66.3 cubic feet of space. I do like the way you have these nooks over here, and you also have a 12 volt. And to fold down the rear seats, you just pull the handle, which is a nice touch. Underneath, you have your charging accessories and no spare. You do get the Hyundai tire mobility kit as I just drop everything out of the bag. Whoever opened this, the previous auto journalist is gonna get a zonk from me for leaving that open. Well, we're gonna fix that in a second, but we gotta do something before we do. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in this Tucson. All right, guys, we're inside this 2024 Hyundai Tucson, this being the limited trim, plug-in electric hybrid. Right away, I love the orientation of how the space is laid out. Getting to the infotainment system, well within reach. Getting to all of the switch gear is really nice. Short reach to all of the compartments. And then the fact that you have the heated seats, the ventilated seats, and the heated steering wheel just tie everything together very nicely. We hit that silver mode switch. We could go into the different drive modes, and you get a nice experience on the display. But in traffic, you're gonna like how easy it is to navigate through tight spaces. And that is what the Tucson excels in. Because it is a compact crossover SUV, compacts have gotten larger over the years, but what's nice is that you're getting the space and the easy drivability. Pulling away from the light, of course, when you go into the different drive modes, that's gonna adjust everything with throttle sensitivity, steering, the whole shabam with how the engine and the transmission behaves with one another. Having these blind spot cameras is fantastic. And all the readout of the information, your charge gauge, it makes sense how Hyundai has it all laid out on the interior. Now what you could do is that if you don't want to be in sport, you want to be in eco, you really want to maximize your efficiency, that's where you go. And you can immediately feel how it makes the adjustments to the driving experience. And I think that's a nice thing to have, is that each mode is very, very different from one another. But visibility is great. You got the whole suite of safety features from Hyundai, and we have the H-Track all-wheel drive system. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it back into sport mode here, and then we're gonna go do a little bit of cruising down the highway. This really, going plug-in electric hybrid really is the best way in my eyes to get that maximum efficiency without being, you know, attached to a charger. Being able to drive it like an EV for the short range that it has, the 33 miles, but then when you're ready to go a farther distance, you don't have to be attached to that charging station for your longer trips. But I just like how easy it is to drive the Hyundai Tucson. The downside is there is a bunch of gloss black, and the silver trim where the push button transmission is creates a lot of glare. That's one thing to be aware of, especially when the sun is shining its brightest. All right, guys, we're gonna see how the handling is. Nice, look at this. Very secure, very composed. On throttle, here we go. So you have that 6-speed automatic transmission. Very, very smooth shifting. Obviously in sport mode, it's gonna kind of hold that higher gear, and you can shift with the paddles as well. But as soon as I go into eco mode, everything just drops down. You go into your higher gear setting for maximum fuel efficiency, and that allows you to have that very long range. But I think the fact that you have the paddles to go through the 6-speed if you want to, the fact that it's got a traditional torque converter automatic transmission is a very nice touch rather than the CVT. And then one thing you'll notice, if you haven't driven a hybrid, or in this case a plug-in electric hybrid, you're gonna notice that the handling is really, really good in them. And a lot of that has to do with your lower center of gravity. But the suspension has a nice compliant feel without being too bouncy, without being too stiff or too soft. It's kind of like the Goldilocks setup on how the chassis and the suspension have been designed to work together. And when you go limited trim, of course, you're getting a little bit more sound deadening material to create a little bit quieter driving experience. I think one of my favorite things is it's very difficult to tell when the engine turns on and off. And I think that's a really good thing, because you don't want to have that on-off effect. It's nice to just feel like it's all one cohesive power delivery. Very well done in that case. But as you can see, driving it, it's a breeze. The size, knowing where each of the four corners are, makes it a cinch when you're driving in the city and maybe have to parallel park. And then you got plenty of pep to get over to the next lane if you have to merge if you want to. But yet it isn't too much. But that's the one area where the RAV4 Prime 0 to 60 in about 5.5 seconds, definitely much quicker than this vehicle. But that's not what it's about. It's about, you know, like I said, gaining that extra long efficiency. But it has a very nice, smooth, comfortable driving experience, and I think you're gonna find that right away just within the first few hundred miles of your ownership. All right, guys, I'm gonna come to a complete stop. Nobody's behind us. I have it in sport mode, and we're gonna go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. Nice. No slip, all grip. And what's nice too is what you're gonna enjoy is how the electric motor negates any turbo lag from the 1.6 liter turbocharged engine. Just a nice low down torque, and it gets you going. And then the turbocharged engine is able to do its job very easily. And it's just a nice complete operating package. But you can see from the handling, they really did a great job with overall feel and balance at all four corners of the vehicle. But I hope that this has been a good overall review of the Tucson plug-in limited trim with that all-wheel drive. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a stormy, windy, hurricane kind of day, but you know what? We made it happen. Let's thank everybody at Hyundai USA for getting us access to this 2023 Tucson plug-in limited trim. Let me know what you think. Has Hyundai created the special sauce for a compact crossover SUV that has technology, has nice room on the interior, but also has the efficiency over the RAV4 Prime? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ladies Rise family. Of course, we need to give it up to The Rock. Lori working that camera like a champ, no matter what's falling from the sky. Show us some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.